Take 3. Welcome to the 6th edition of the Blue Army podcast. I'm with Dale Story, and we're here after a disappointing 2-1 home defeat at the hands of Buxton. Not the way we wanted to be building up to Christmas Day.
No, it was a very disappointing afternoon, wasn't it, Rob? I felt it was probably the biggest disappointment we've had this season. I think the form they've been on, probably the expectation was probably a little bit higher than it would normally be. I certainly fancied Gainsborough to win today. And they just never really got going. And Buxton were no startling, were they, really? But they came here, they did a job, and they've taken away 3 points.
Yeah, they set up to be hard to beat, and they did it very well. Even going down to 10 men. 10 men is often a difficult setup to a game.
I thought they played better with 10 men. I thought they were a lot more organised. They had a very passionate management duo, which I never think is a bad thing. I think it has an influence on the players.
It gets that extra few percent out of
players. I agree. And, they look cool. I never thought Gainsborough were going to score. I know they did at the end. If anything, Buxton were going to break away. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, in commentary, I even said, as we got towards stoppage time, this is one of those games that we could play until Sunday and not score.
Oh, the old commentator's curse. Yeah. We've all been there.
Maybe I should have said it a few minutes before.
If you'd said it at half time, even, might have won the game.
Yeah, but I'm still learning this game. So. But no, Johnny Margates took his goal well, so hopefully that's one of the positives to come out of it. He's got himself in some good positions, but hasn't been quite as clinical as he would have liked to have been. Yeah,
Johnny Margates is when he signed for Gainsborough, I thought for the third time. Was it the third time? It was seen as a really good signing, and he's one of them players. When he's on form, he's really good, but when he's off form, he stands out that he's struggling. So hopefully that goal, and it wasn't the easiest tap-ins, was it? The angle wasn't the best. It was a decent finish from where he was,
and he's just missed the header.
Has, and he couldn't have expected the goalkeeper, who had a great game, to drop the ball like that.
The goalkeeper really got blocked off by one of his own defenders.
Well, it was a goalkeeper mistake. You take out your defenders, don't you, as a goalkeeper? John Stewart would have done. And he took it well, and it just came too little too late. I mean, I said in my commentary, there's only 30 seconds, they're not going to score, and Buxton would see the game out. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah, but uncharacteristic slip from Nathan Stainfield, normally so dependable.
Yeah, Lee Sinnott was really disappointed with the way, he said the way the ball got into the box.
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like you say, it was an uncharacteristic mistake by Nathan Stainfield, who I'm sure many Trinity fans will say has been the rock at the back this season. It's been outstanding. Exactly. It was a surprise, and at the end of the day, in these conditions, any player could slip. And it was him desperately trying to recover his mistake that gave away the penalty. I thought it was a penalty. I thought it was taken well from Chippendale, who had a bit of a spell here, didn't he, as well?
He did. He was involved with the Frex team that stayed up despite losing 5-1.
He didn't play that much. Did he play that day? I don't think he played that much, did he?
I don't think he played the last game of the season.
I remember seeing him at Buxton.
It was him and Jack McGovern, wasn't it? In the midfield engine room that gave us the legs in the middle of the park.
I remember seeing him at Buxton, and he was really good.
But he never really struck me as being a goal-scoring midfielder, and he's scored twice today.
Oh, he didn't, when he was here, he didn't really score many, did he? But I remember the first game I saw him, he scored a hat-trick for Boston at Stamford, so
we never quite got the best out of him.
No, which is frustrating, and hopefully we're talking about Johnny Margates, and hopefully we see the games we can get the best out of him. But no, it's a disappointing afternoon. And how was it for you with the conditions? Because you'd have got it worse than me.
It was very cold, very blustery, and that's probably an understatement. I just couldn't feel my hands and feet for most of the game. But
did you get rained on?
Yeah, our waterproof gantry wasn't so waterproof. So, Mr. Chairman, if you're listening, we might need a little bit of a roof repair, please.
A bloke next to me said he hoped your roof, blew away. We were sympathising with you and your.
I can only guess who that might be.
You don't watch these, do you? Yeah. Up at our end, it wasn't as sheltered as you thought. You didn't get wet, but the wind was still blowing in at the top of the ping stand. But
yes, sat there for a little bit before the game started, and it was still blowing a gale.
It was that kind of weather that the wind made it extra cold, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? Well, I don't think we've hit freezing, but
no, I think it was about 2 degrees throughout. But Lancaster last week was wet and wild, but this seemed to be even more so.
See, Lee Sinnott put comparisons, didn't he, to the Lancaster game last week in our interview with him.
Yeah.
And that it was a tight game last week, conditions like this, and they won. So you'd think they'd have been able to adapt to the conditions probably better than they did.
Yeah, we still created chances, but
not many.
It just didn't happen.
Not really.
No.
Other games they've not won this season, you've come away and gone, well, we could have had this, could have got... To me, apart from that, I think it was a double save, and other people near me thought it was a block. Apart from that, I can't think of any clear chances they had. I know Brandon Horton had a chance in the first half.
Yeah.
Brandon
Horton, every week I talk about him, and still to believe that he's only 17 years of age.
Makes you feel old, doesn't it? I thought he was the only player that can come away and say they played well today for Gainsborough. I thought he played really well. They need to try and... How long have we got him for?
As far as I'm concerned, it's a work experience line.
New Year's Day?
Which will last until the end of the season.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Unless Doncaster recall him. And hopefully there's no need for Doncaster to recall him. But with performances that he's putting in at the moment, I couldn't fault them for calling him back, to be honest.
Is he going to be getting in Doncaster's team, though? I don't think he's probably that level, but he's clearly probably too good for this level.
Yeah. He's got to be in for a chance, hasn't he? It might be one of those... where it comes back to the end of the season.
We're not starting again, are we?
Okay.
So good. Cool. We're back.
We're back. Sorry for makeshift camera stand. Collapsed on us.
Which is, we could show what it is, couldn't we?
Yeah.
This is our camera stand.
Yeah.
For the day.
Dale's early Christmas present.
Look at this.
Don't know if you can see that.
We have a podcast mug.
Blue Army podcast.
There we go.
2018-19.
And there's only one of them made, and I'm very honoured.
Yeah.
To have one of them.
But if there's a demand for it, we'll get some more made.
Yeah, I'm sure if Mark's watching, he'll probably want his own mug after making his podcast debut last week. So
yeah, exactly.
There we go, Mark. Get your order in, mate. Get your order in.
Yeah. A limited run only.
Yeah.
But no, it's disappointing. You can't be unbeaten all season, but it's the manner of defeats, isn't it? But
you look at the last two actual defeats, and they've been absolutely horrendous, haven't they? Tamworth and today. So when Gainsborough lose, they lose bad, don't they? I know they didn't get thrashed, but I meant in terms of performance.
You can throw one in. I spoke to Shane briefly after the game as well. You were going to come down and interview him, but you were having a few
technical difficulties, yes, at mine.
Yeah, so I spoke to Shane after the game, and he did stress the importance of not getting too down when you lose, not getting too high when you win, but the opportunity to quickly put things right straight afterwards. Players are hurting about the manner of the performance, and they're keen to get out there.
And that's what you want to hear from your captain, don't you? You want that. You want, as a fan, you want them to come out. I mean, I said to Lee, that good teams have setbacks. Everyone does. Every team, or however good you are, it's how you react. And suddenly Whitby next week becomes a huge game, because Whitby, we saw here a few weeks ago, Gainsborough better than Whitby.
We did have the time earlier on in the season, didn't we, when we did lose that first one, and we followed it up with another defeat. It was the Staley Bridge time, wasn't it? And we did go a couple of games without bouncing back.
That's one of my concerns. I think they've had a couple of times this season where they've gone a couple or two or three without a win.
Yeah. Very quickly things snowball either way, and
then you start worrying,
or a knockback, a setback, a defeat. Fortnight ago we had the 1-1 draw here against Witton. We followed that one up today with a narrow 2-1 defeat.
Well, as someone was saying to us, that it's funny how they've gone from being pretty unbeatable here and struggling away, and now it seems that they seem to be better suited away. I think this new formation, the 4-3-3, definitely suits them better away. Won the last 3 away games, haven't they?
Speaking of that, that's the first time Harry Middleton's been beaten since he's been a Blue. Shane Clark, you put that in your captain's notes this time round. He gave young Middleton a shout out, and maybe you won't be writing captain's notes next time.
I do an article for the programme. I've mentioned Brandon Horton, so he'll probably have a very good game next week. No, I hope I haven't jinxed it.
No, joy of commentary curses.
Oh, commentator's curse. Yeah, it's happened many a time. But I think next week becomes huge. I really do, because the festive period. I think we were saying earlier, weren't we? It's not as hectic as, say, the Premier League, the Football League, even the National League, even National League North.
They've got that extra game in.
They have. It's not as hectic, but it is really important, because it's Whitby and Grantham. They should be beating both of them. If they realistically want to be challenging for first, second, third, or fifth, And then suddenly, they win both them. It makes New Year's Day an absolute cracker at Matlock because they're on fire at the moment.
And that's almost a must not lose.
Oh, can you imagine if you lost? Gainsborough lost that game. Just won't be worth it, would it? I can't imagine Dave Freckleton wanting to win any game more than that one on New Year's Day.
No,
he'd be well up
that's
for
got to
it.
be his focus even now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I imagine so. And he was always. I mean, I was a big fan of Frex when he was here. He was always a good motivator. Always had his teams up for games, even if they didn't play very well. They were, the effort was there most of the time.
But that could go one or two ways, couldn't it? He could possibly have them up for the game.
Well, there is that, and hopefully that's the case.
That's
But whenever Trinity, you've thought to yourself this season, oh God, they're gonna, Scarborough. I think we went there thinking, oh, this could be grim.
What could happen?
Exactly.
That butterflies in the stomach because they're driving up there thinking.
Exactly. They prove you're wrong, and that's happened quite a few times this season. So it wouldn't surprise. I don't think any outcome would surprise me on that one.
No, I think the only thing we can say is there'll be goals in that game. Get it in now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Commentary curse.
Yeah,
take a 0-0.
You take a 0-0. Yeah. But as I say, two big games. I mean, Whitby next week. You've been to Whitby, haven't you?
Been to Whitby a long time ago, back to
It'll be colder there than it is here. I holiday in Whitby a lot, and I go and watch them sometimes. And it's on the West Cliff. It's near the sea. So you can see the sea from the ground. So it will be very, very cold. Very cold.
Thanks for that one. So a couple of extra layers needed. But with this ice rain that's been falling today, if that turns to snow, you've got to worry if the game's going to be on.
Somebody was telling me earlier it's going to get milder as the week goes on, though. So,
but is that more likely to snow then if it gets milder?
Good point. I mean, we've spent a lot of this podcast discussing the weather, and I'm not really a weather person. So you tell me.
We'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
Yeah.
Right. We'll be back in a sec.
It's such a tight league that they're in at the moment. I mean, today they could have gone second. Nantwich ended up winning at Hyde. They were losing for quite a lot, but I'm pretty sure they ended up winning 3-2. But Scarborough, Warrington and Farsley, didn't play.
Yeah, Farsley had Telford in the FA Trophy.
Have they got 'em?
I don't know.
What? Telford fan? Gainsborough fan, sorry.
I honestly don't know. Just not being able to feel my fingers up in the crow's nest.
That's one of Trinity's games in hand, isn't it, Farsley?
Yeah, so it's one of those that the longer they're involved in the FA Trophy, if they still are, that could take one eye off the bread and butter of the league. But it is so tight up there at the moment.
It's exciting, isn't it?
It is. You look down to 10th in the league and there's opportunities for sides as low as 10th to
look at Buxton. Buxton were 8th going into today.
Yeah.
They've now closed the gap on the last. I think Gainsborough is still 5th.
Yeah.
Because others haven't played.
Yeah, and obviously South Shields are on the periphery, looking to break into that.
They're just so good at home, aren't they, South Shields?
They're
getting away from
it.
Oh, it's a huge opportunity lost. Trinity could have been going into Christmas second because I fancy them next week at Whitby, and I think that's the biggest disappointment. You're looking at the table and they haven't taken the advantage of the teams not playing. But
Scarborough haven't played today. They probably relish not having that.
They're stuttering, aren't they?
They are. So that's probably come at the ideal time.
And that stutter, the last time they won, they've only won once since winning here, haven't they?
Yeah.
And their top scorer, Walsh, hasn't scored, has he, since that night?
No, but this break for them might come at just the right time for them to regroup.
Yeah, when we were there a couple of weeks ago, I didn't think much to Scarborough. We were discussing earlier, weren't we, about who's the best team we've seen in this league. Somebody asked you, didn't they?
Yeah, I was asked that question.
It's a real difficult one, that.
Yeah,
because
everybody's much of a muchness.
The best performance, genuinely, I've seen is Gainsborough at Scarborough. As in a complete, I know probably slightly biased, as a complete performance, I thought that day Gainsborough were just incredible. I don't know. Who did we say? We thought Hyde weren't bad, were they?
Hyde weren't bad, but they're mid-table, they're up and down. We've struggled against Witton because they've been big, strong, horrible, nasty, and they've done well. They've taken 4 points off us.
Yeah.
But when you're choosing the team that's 5th bottom of the league, is that really a fair reflection?
Not well. You see, I thought Ferriby played well here.
Yeah.
And they're bottom.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it? I suppose there's
That's
playing well and winning games.
That's the joy of this league, isn't it?
Oh, I said Farsley, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Farsley, we obviously took a point.
I thought that day
Alex Byrne getting a goal for us.
Gainsborough were top. Farsley were third, fourth. It was a real top of the... It was a great game. I thought Farsley played really... Especially the second half, I thought they played really well. And that night was a good point for Gainsborough. Yeah. And I think when they come here, it'll be a great game.
Actually, remembering the Byrne goal has reminded me that we've got an incident to talk about from the game today.
Which one?
The sending off.
Oh! Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I probably had a better view than you, because it was my side, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of bickering between Buxton and Gainsborough fans in the stand about it, because it was... I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd given 2 yellows, yellow for each player, because I thought Alex Byrne instigated.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, really, but then as soon as you raise 2 hands, the referee has got the option to send you off.
But I think the Buxton players will agree that Byrne did it first.
Byrne only did it with 1 hand. Don't know if that makes a difference.
Yeah.
And instead, I suppose
And Byrne's centre of gravity was slightly off.
Well, the Buxton player, instead of obviously struggling to stay on his feet, should we say, wanted to give it back. Whereas, and it was at the end of the day, this happens in football, isn't it? And
it did seem handbags. It seemed harsh.
It seemed,
honest, it made the game harder.
I was just going to say that it kind of backfired, didn't it? Because Gainsborough really struggled once Buxton went down to 10, but yeah.
It's all the fun of the fair, though, isn't it? And we go again on Saturday next week.
Can't wait.
How long? 3-hour journey? 3 hours 20?
What for you or for me? From Lincoln, it's like nearly 3. So.
Oh, I do like to.
Good luck, Rob. Good luck. Yeah.
Cheers, Dale.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
See you next week.
See you all soon.